Hare Krishna everyone, we're continuing to read the Teachings of Lord Kapila, the book by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, chapter 16, the pure devotees' spiritual opulences. Continuing. This is also confirmed in many other Vedic literatures. Yasyaika nishvasita kalamadhavalambhya Jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha Vishnur mahansa iha yasya kala vishesho Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Quote, Brahma and other lords of the mundane worlds appearing from the pores of hair of Mahavishnu remain alive as long as the duration of his one exhalation. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whose subjective personality Mahavishnu is the portion of a portion. Unquote. Brahma Samhita 5.48. This is the information given in Brahma Samhita, the prayers offered by Lord Brahma. This Brahma Samhita was accepted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who copied it when he toured South India. Formerly, there were no presses to print these literatures, and these important Vedic writings were written by hand. These literatures were not very cheap, and only highly qualified brahmanas were able to keep them. They were worshipped in the temple as the Shastra deity. It is not that they were available everywhere. Now, of course, the printing press has changed all this, but nonetheless, we should always understand that these granthas, the scriptures, should be worshipped as God because they are the sound incarnation of God. One should not consider Bhagavad Gita or Srimad-Bhagavatam to be ordinary books, and one should take care of them just as carefully as one takes care of the deity. At any rate, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned from South India with a copy of Brahma Samhita, he gave it to his disciples and told them that it was a summary of the Vedanta and the Srimad-Bhagavatam. We therefore accept Brahma Samhita as authorized scripture, for it was authorized by the Supreme Person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just as Sri Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita in so many ways that the entire material creation is resting on one of his portions, Brahma Samhita explains the same subject. It is stated that from the skin pores of the Mahavishnu, all the universes are emanating. In each universe, there is a Brahma, a supervisor, who is the supreme creature and manager. These managers live only as long as the Mahavishnu exhales. When he exhales, all the universes are created, and when he inhales, they all return into his body. In this way, so many universes are coming and going. In this way, so many universes and Brahmas are coming and going. The duration of these breaths, which constitute of a life of a Brahma, are described in Bhagavad Gita as many trillions of earth years. One may say that this is all fictitious and imaginary, but unless one believes it, one has no right to touch Bhagavad Gita. Generally, people are interested in going to the higher planetary systems in order to become more opulent. This is the process of karma kandya, and people perform yagyas and pious activities in order to be elevated to higher planets. The idea is that one will be able to enjoy himself more, have a longer lifespan, more opulence, more beautiful women, nice gardens, and so on. Actually, this is the case, but a devotee is not at all interested in these things because he accepts Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Shri Krishna says, Abrahma bhuvanam loka punar avartinorjuna. Quote, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. It's very, very important to remember that all these places, even heavenly planets within this material universe, they're all places of misery, and birth and death take place, even if it takes place for a longer period of time. I remember Bhaktivedanta Maharaj giving this example that imagine somebody knocks on your door and says, you've just won $1 million, and he gives you the suitcase, and then 10 minutes later he takes it back and takes it away. So you were a millionaire for 10 minutes. Does that really count? It's the same way in living in upper, higher, heavenly planetary systems. Does it really count that you live a happy, opulent, blissful life if it's just for a short period of time, or even if a long period of time? It has a beginning, it has an end, and this is the definition of the material existence. It has a beginning, it has an end. Whereas spiritual life and spiritual bliss, spiritual happiness, it has no end. It is eternal, and it is ever increasing. So, which one will you take? Of course, spiritual. Okay, so even if we are promoted to the highest planet, Brahma Loka, the planet where Lord Brahma lives, our situation there is still not eternal. So why should a devotee be interested in such a place? A devotee is simply interested in the Supreme Eternal, Shri Krishna. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Leader of the Nityas, the eternal living entities. We are all Nityas, eternal. And Krishna guides and plays with us. In the spiritual world, Krishna and his friends are... Krishna and his devotees are friends. And they play together as cowherd boys. They're not interested in Brahmaloka or Chandraloka, for these planets will ultimately be annihilated. There are some living entities that live only a few seconds, or at most a night. By the morning, they're all dead. Any life in the material world is comparable to that. Brahma may live millions of years, but he ultimately has to die. Whether we go to the highest planet or the lowest planet, whether we are in the body of a Brahma or a cat, we ultimately have to die. Krishna presents himself to atheists as death. He appeared in this way before Hiranyakashipu, who said, I am God, all the demigods are afraid of me, I am very powerful. Krishna comes before such atheists as death and takes everything away. All power, opulence, money, everything. The theists worship God while they're living, and their only business in this life is serving God. After death, they render the same service. Thus, there is no difference between Vaikuntha and the temple for a devotee. In either case, his business is the same. Why then should he aspire to go to Vaikuntha? In the Vaikuntha planets, one attains opulence like Krishna or Narayan. Okay, we're going to stop here for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. Please check out our website, shravanamdiaries.com. Read these books along with us and share them with all of your friends and aspire for something permanent in life. So see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.